So as news of the explosions began to pour in Monday afternoon, the world turned their eyes and prayers to the city of Boston, with tens of thousands of runners representing nearly 100 countries around the globe. Yesterday's devastation was indeed felt internationally. And on the heels of the attack, British officials are now urging a review of security measures in preparation for the next big international event, the London Marathon, and that's this Sunday. For more, we go to our own Martin Bashir, who's in London this week covering the funeral of former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. So, Martin, have you noticed an increased security presence in and around London because of yesterday's attacks?
Well, Thomas, this week has already been marked by heightened security due to Baroness Thatcher's funeral service tomorrow morning and the London Marathon this coming Sunday. 4,000 police officers will be working in London tomorrow, and many of the major roads into the city will be closed from early in the morning. And even before the horrific events in Boston, the British government had actually set the terrorism threat level here at substantial, which means that a terrorist attack is regarded as a strong possibility. It's also worth noting that for a nation that doesn't normally arm its police officers, there are plenty of armed law enforcement at strategic positions right throughout the city in preparation, as I say, for tomorrow's ceremony. And in terms of tomorrow's funeral service, the casket containing the body of the former Prime Minister arrived at the Palace of Westminster earlier today and is currently resting in a small chapel. There was a short service for family and close friends led by the Dean of Westminster. And I spoke to officials at the Metropolitan Police earlier today, and they stressed vigilance, but also confidence that all possible security measures are in place for tomorrow's service, keeping in mind that every level of the British establishment will be present in St Paul's Cathedral, ranging from Her Majesty the Queen to the Prime Minister, foreign heads of state, and of course other international dignitaries.
Certainly they expect that to go off without interruption, Martin, though some are looking at the next big athletic event, as we mentioned, the London Marathon, and talking about whether or not that it should be canceled. Have you heard anything to that effect or talks about heightened security surrounding it?
Yeah, there has been some talk of that, but it was quickly dismissed by the London Marathon Organising Committee. In fact, far from cancelling Sunday's race, the London Marathon is expected to feature tributes to those killed and injured in Boston's race yesterday. And we've just learned that runners will wear a black ribbon on their arms and observe 30 seconds of silence before the race begins in honour of those killed in Boston. And don't forget that London hosted a spectacular, successful and entirely safe Olympic Games last summer. The Chief of London's police has said that he is reviewing all the security arrangements for Sunday's race, and the government sports minister, Hugh Robertson, has said that the best way to show solidarity with those who were subjected to such an horrific attack yesterday is to stage another successful London Marathon. And so that's what we hear is going to happen this coming Sunday.
All right, so Martin, if we go back to the funeral, though, let's talk about some of the guests and especially those who are going to be attending representing the United States. Who's going to be there?
Well, we had been led to believe that former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton would be attending, but that's now not the case. The President's official delegation will be led by George Shultz and James Baker, both of whom served as Secretaries of State during Margaret Thatcher's premiership. Speaker John Boehner, as you know, is sending Representatives Marsha Blackburn, Michelle Bachmann and George Holding. But interestingly, Prime Minister David Cameron is hosting a private dinner at this very moment in number 10 Downing Street, and in attendance is one former Vice President, Dick Cheney, which I guess reveals where he stands in relation to his Conservative counterparts over there in the United States.
And now, where was your dinner invitation, Martin? Why aren't you at that dinner right now?
I haven't achieved that kind of status yet, Thomas. I'm waiting for an invitation from you, let alone from the Prime Minister at number 10.
We will do dinner when you get back. Martin Bashir, live in London. Thanks so much, Martin. Appreciate it. All right, so coming up next, we go back to Boston, a city that the President praised for its toughness. Stay with us.
The people of Boston will continue to respond in the same proud and heroic way that they have thus far. And their fellow Americans will be right there with them.